Alright, okay, that should be working now. I just started talking to myself, realizing that it wasn't recording. It is recording now. So this is an introduction to my process for making pixel art textured 3D models. Okay, so step number one for me is deciding the texture resolution. And that's not just the resolution of the texture image. I mean the pixel density across the whole model. So a pixel is a texture pixel, right? So you can't have chunks of the model that are high resolution and chunks that are low resolution, or it kind of loses its pixel art look because it's it's got an inconsistent texture resolution. Pixel art looks like pixel art because all the pixels are consistent size across the entire image. So to kind of emulate that in a 3D model, you need to make sure that one pixel is the same size no matter where it is on the model. So, and also that they're square, so you can't have textures that are stretched. Otherwise, the pixels stop being square, and then it stops kind of having a pixel art look. So the first thing I've done is I've made a 64 by 64 pixel canvas here, and I'm going to make dumbbells because it's a very simple thing. It's got like flat surfaces and it's got round surfaces, so it's a good thing to show my process with, and it's very simple, so I can finish it pretty quickly. And I've decided on a pixel resolution of 32 pixels per meter. So if you had something if you had a door that was 2 meters tall and 1 meter wide, then that's like 64 pixels tall by 32 pixels wide. But it doesn't matter what units you use, or it's as long as you make it consistent. So first thing I do, instead of trying to make a 3D model and then figuring out how to texture it in a pixelated way, the first thing I do is I draw the object as pixel art first, and then I make a 3D model of that using that image. The reason for that is that there's only, obviously you can't draw anything smaller than a pixel with pixel art. So you draw the whole object, and then if you make a 3D model from that pixel art, you're not going to make any features that are smaller than a pixel. Because if you start doing that, you start having like really small features on a model, tiny polygons that are smaller than a pixel, then it breaks the pixel art look. Because pixel art, is a compromise. There's only so much detail that you can add. So some of the objects and shapes become simplified, and that is also part of the pixel art look. So if you want to copy that over into a 3D model, you have to bring over those limitations from pixel art. So let's draw a dumbbell. Let's go for that color, and I'm going to draw that there. And let's hold on. What do dumbbells look like? They look like that. All right. Let's do that. And okay, they've got a little center bit there. Okay, so let's make some light, catching the bottom there. Maybe a little bit more on the bottom. And also this is shadow here because this is goes in a bit, Let's just delete that. Oh, actually not. Let's not delete that. Let's delete that. There you go. Let's make it catch some light at the bottom there, and also have a little shade on the top. Yeah. Can we have? See, we've already got a thing. Well, if you could do anything you want with the texture size, you could have written this, 10 kg or something to put text on it. But we don't have the pixels for that, so we're just gonna not do that. Which is part of the limitations of pixel art, but that's the thing. We're putting it into 3D, and so you have to copy those restrictions. So nothing is smaller than a pixel, and yeah, Okay, so we've got a plate there. I would like to have added text, but you know we can't. So that's one plate. Maybe do a couple of other sizes as well. Maybe a smaller one and a bigger one. So let's do one that's like that size, and let's do one that's bigger, like a 20 kilogram plate one. Actually, you know, I'll match it to the grid here. There you go. So this can be a big 20 kilogram jobby, or whatever is the you know the big denomination, whatever units you use. Okay. So just adding some anti-aliasing in there just to make it look a little bit nicer. And maybe down here as well. Alright. Oops. Ah! Okay. Oh, and a little one. Oh, and I forgot to add some up here. Okay. Sorry, this does take some time. Maybe this will be sped up in the video that you're watching. But if it is, then you won't be able to hear me. Okay. Okay, so there's a little one, and I've got the big plate over here. Hold on. Actually, one thing we need to decide is this. So we've drawn this to be 4 pixels, which is how wide? Because we don't want the bar to be too thin. So let's work out what that is. So 1 meter divided by 32 pixels. So okay, so 1 pixel is roughly 3 centimeters. Oh, really? Okay, so that means that the bar is 6 centimeters thick, which is actually pretty. Oh well, but that's fine. So you know, it's slightly weird dimensions, but that's part of what pixel art is, isn't it? Like these, you know, kind of cartoonish, weird dimensions, which make it nice. And also with this big plate, we can afford to write text. So let's, you know what? Let's make it that big. There you go. Yeah, we can afford. It's big enough that we can probably fit text in there. So we'll do that. I should have made this fill brush. Oh well. Fill brush? Is it a brush or a fill tool? Whatever. I forgot to add some anti-aliasing around here. Actually, you know what? That looks a bit gross. That looks very gross. Yeah. Maybe you can just abstract it a little bit. It looks better than before, but not great. This is just like a demonstration thing, so I'm going to pretend that that's my excuse anyway. Doesn't actually look that great, but oh well. You always just tweak it in the end. Okay, yeah, it's very chunky looking. It's not the best. some reason I'm making it worse. I don't know why I did that. All right. Okay. Anyway, so we've got 3 plates. And this will be the base for our 3D model. But before we go any further, no, actually no, that's fine. Okay, so let's save this. So I'm going to save this as, I'm going to put my desktop. Yeah, nothing embarrassing there that I can. All right, so let's call these plates.png. Okay, now open up Blender. Oh yeah, I'm still using 2.79 because it's what I'm used to, and I'll move to the new version later on. But there's another having pixelated textures while you're editing. I couldn't find a way of doing that in 2.8. Maybe they've changed it now, but I just looked everywhere. I couldn't figure a way of just. It was just more convoluted to do my particular weird process. But anyway, let's start by adding a plane, and it's a square plane because the image that we are working from is also a square. Desktop is also a square. So if this image that we're working from was not square, like say if it was longer wide, if it was 128 wide and 64 tall, then the starting plane would be twice as wide as it is tall. Like so you just stretch it out to 2.0 or whatever like that. But this image is square, so this plane is square, and I'm going to move this plane in edit mode down, and I'm going to unwrap and project from view bounds. Okay, so we've got this, and I'm going to use this as the reference for the model I'm going to make. It's only a disk, so it's not exactly complicated. But if you were making something like, say, if you were making a gun or whatever, I usually draw it from the front and the side, and and all different angles, and then I use this from a few angles like this. I'll copy this around on the different axes, and I'll edit from here and edit from here and edit from here, and I'll make it match up. And I'll be using pixel art as the reference, so it matches the pixel art. So yeah, so usually for like every other 3D modeling technique, you would want to do the model first and then the texture. But for me, I do the texture first and then model because I'm a weirdo. Although I go back and adjust the texture, obviously. So this is 16 by 16 pixels. And I want an easy way of editing. So I want one pixel to be 1 unit. And this is 2 units across. And this is 64 units across. So if I multiply this scale by 32, then you get 1 pixel as 1 unit, and then it becomes very easy to edit things. So I'll just apply this scale and rotation for now. You can always just divide by 64 later on, and let's hold on. This is 16 units across, right? So I'll go back to edit mode. I will create a cylinder. And give it 12 vertices, you think? It's nice and chunky. Or should I go 16? No, this medium one can be 12, and the small one can be 8, and the big one can be 16. And we'll give it the radius of 8, because that means a diameter of 16. And we'll give it a depth of 2. That's fine, and we'll match it up to the pixel art. All right, that's fine for now. Let's leave that. Okay, so the smaller one, how big is this? We can measure in here because it's 1 unit is 1 pixel, so you can use it. You can measure in here. It's 12 pixels across. So we'll do that again. Set this on as 8. Oh, that is very chunky, isn't it? Maybe 8 is too chunky. Yeah, I'll leave it at 12. Okay, and I've already forgotten what was it. It was 12, so half of 12 is 6. And we'll leave the thickness at 2 again. And this one was, it was 32, wasn't it? Oh no, sorry, 24. So 24, okay. And we'll push this one up just 16. Half of 24 is 12. And we'll move this over here. And this is where the magic happens. So you select everything, apply the texture, of course. And right now it's just nothing. But if you go unwrap, project from view bounds, it slaps on the texture pixel perfectly, which is nice. But you might be going, hold on, we've got stretched bits over here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that next. So I mean, you can do this for like 90% of the textures if you're doing something that's flat. But obviously you can't always make things that are flat. Although it's probably best to try and make things as flat as possible because that's what pixel art looks like. So if you have you know, too many like organic round kind of shapes that you wouldn't really express in pixel art, then you're not going to have a very pixel arty kind of model. So just try and make things as chunky as possible. Okay, so if we were just to make a box, let's just make a box. Random size, let's multiply this by 6. Okay, so because 1 unit is 1 pixel, we can figure out how many pixels this is just by going to this mesh display and show length. And so it's all 12 pixels by 12 pixels, right? So if you did a 12 by 12 image, you could put it on there and it'd be pixel perfect. So looking at this, how long is one of these edges? And because it's round, you're always going to get these numbers that are long and disgusting. So you've got 4.682. Well, that's not very pixel friendly, but you can just round it. Round it either to the nearest whole number, or if it's something with lots of faces like this, I round it to the nearest half if I can get away with it. So actually, hold on. Let's start off with the one that's rounded whole because it's just easy to work with. So this one, okay, 3. Each face is roughly, it's two pixels across there. I mean, I suppose you can't see my mouse cursor. I'm not sure if you can vertically, but across it's this weird 3.106. So let's just say it's 2 by 3. And how many faces have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's mirrored. But we can use a texture on the other side. So let's just draw this texture. So we've got 2 this way, and we've got 3 this way, and we've got 6 of them. So 6 times 3 is what? 6 times 3 is 18. So we need, if we have an 18 by 2 pixel strip, we know that we've got the right size for this. So let's make an 18 by 2 pixel strip. So 18 by 2, or rather 2 by 18. I think it's 2 by 18 because you do x first and then y, and we'll draw a gradient across it. So let's do like maybe 4 pixels there. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, 2 pixels there. 4 pixels there. 2 pixels there. 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason that the top 2 are half as long as the other is because this is going to be mirrored. So this is going to be twice as long. Yeah, so we've got this little gradient here. Should we do anything to it? Nah, let's leave it like that. That's fine. Okay, so we're gonna leave 2 pixels. Sorry, 2 pixels for texture bleed later. Always open at least two pixels. And we're going to wrap this around this this object. Oh, this is the one in the middle here, isn't it? So we'll save it. Go over here. Alt R to reload the image. So we've got this here, and we need to wrap this onto it. It's really just a matter of doing this manually, but there are a few tricks. So if you just go unwrap, then you've got this, and we'll rotate it over here, and we'll put it roughly where it needs to go. Let's try and get it as close as possible. Okay, that should be close enough. And then Shift S, selected to pixels. So if you go Shift X, selected to pixels, it will snap every vertex exactly to a pixel. Now you don't want to do it with this, because this doesn't match up. Like these top pixels here, they'll match up, but these ones are in odd places, and you don't want to snap these. Another way we could have done these ones here, these ones on the side. Another way we could have done that is, hold on, let's just undo that for a while. Hold on, sorry. So we've got this. You can go image, UVs, snap to pixels, and then this is always snap to the nearest pixel, and you can kind of do this. If it was if it was wrong, hold on, it's just there you go. So it's not right. See, that's you'd have to go and manually move it, but because the snap to pixel option is on, it'll snap to that and be pixel perfect over here. So now you've got this gradient going all across. And just do the other side, but I can't be bothered doing the other side, so I'm just gonna put my cursor over here. Just gonna copy this, scale it across the x-axis, and flip the nulls. There you go. We'll select it all, remove doubles. Okay, but we've still got these holes here because we haven't got texture bleed, so maybe you can do that right now if you wanted to manually do it. I actually have a script that does this, but whatever. So we just make the texture bleed out so it doesn't look weird. Doesn't have holes in. Hold on, I'm doing the wrong one, aren't I? I'm supposed to be doing this one over here. What am I doing? Okay, hold on, and we've also bled too far. Okay, let's just fill those. Okay, save, and then Alt R to reload this. Okay, so now we've got the first plate here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's kind of, you could actually just leave it as is. I mean, there wasn't really anything too weird going on with this. But if it was longer, say let's do this one. So let's say this big plate is 3 pixels across, and we wanted to have like a ridge going down the side. Then you would really need to make one of a custom texture for it. So let's do that. So this is and this is more interesting because this is 4.6. So you could round it to 5 if you wanted to, but it would look closer to a square if it was 4.5. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8 times 4.5, and my tiny brain can't calculate that, so 8 times 4.5 on my calculator is 36 apparently. Okay, so this is 36, 3 times 36. So let's do another one of these strips, leaving 2 in between. 3 times, what was it, what did I just say, 36? 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And just to speed things up, let's just do that. Okay, and we'll add like a dark line in the middle. This is not very good, but just to show you what I mean. So we'll save that. We'll move over here. Alt R to reload that texture. We'll unwrap this bit. Rotate it. Now we've got snap to pixels already turned on here, but one thing you'll realize that because it's 4.5, if we snap to pixels, it'll be all weird. Like, hold on, it's not actually going to be exactly. It's not going to snap to. So wherever it snaps to, it's not going to be right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's gonna sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna snap. Oh, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's gonna snap in between, halfway in between this pixel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. Okay, let's just stretch this down. The reason I'm doing this is for a guide for myself, so I know where it's supposed to be. Okay, so yeah, if it's here, it's too low. If it's here, it's too high. So it needs to be in the middle. Oh, what am I doing? I'm a dork. My guides are wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it needs to be up one. The reason for that is because every second one needs to be. Oops. Every second one needs to be. Ah, poos. I'm confusing my tiny brain. Let's just do this again. Okay, and we're going to copy this. Okay, that's better. That should be correct. Okay. So every second one. So this one's correct. It's in the middle there. It's in the middle. In the middle. This one is too low, and that's too high. Too low. Too high. Right. So let's just make them all too low for now. Too low. This one's too low. Okay, and now we're going to select them all. Press N to get this little toolbar here, and you can manually move the location by a full pixel by using these arrows. And if you want to exactly move all of these up by half a pixel, then you just go plus 0.5. Yeah, and there you go. And so every second one has been moved by 0.5. So now it's like, and now it's pixel perfect again. So now it's each one of these is exactly. Each one of these faces is exactly 4.5 pixels across. Not straightforward or anything, but this is how I do things. Because it always has to be pixel perfect because I'm weird. It's probably, you wouldn't even notice really, to be honest. It's probably better for the most part just to make these whole numbers, so you don't have to deal with this every second, you know, edge being off. But sometimes I get a bit fickle with this stuff. For like some insignificant prop like this, you really shouldn't. But if you're doing something like you know, like a weapon model or something, something that the player is looking at really closely all the time, probably want to make it you know, oops, look nice, you know, look perfect. Okay, scale X -1, flip normals. And then let's just remove doubles. Okay, so now we have plates. Let me just get this texture bleed going. Actually, I didn't stretch this out enough, did I? This doesn't need to be stretched, but I just want to line this up for some reason. Okay. I'm like missing all my clicks for some reason. Okay. This is a massive waste of texture. You wouldn't obviously do this when you're making a proper model. You'd want to do it properly. But these are the plates, and yeah, I mean, I could carry on and make the bar, but I think I've kind of made it clear roughly how I do things. So it would just be the same with the bar as, you know, as just these round bits here. Oh, why not make the bar? We'll make the bar, eh? Okay, so how long should the bar be? Let's say it's 1.5 meters. Is that? That sounds about right. And this is, if this is 64 pixels across, it means it's 2 meters across. So let's draw a bar, and it's 2 pixels. It's 2 pixels up and down. So there you go. There's my extremely realistic bar image. Hold on, let me. It should have collars and stuff on it, I suppose. Yeah, it's got knurling in the middle, and then it's got these. What? Oh well, no. If it's a barbell, it doesn't have. Dumbbells have these threading. Oh, let's make a dumbbell, eh? I'll make a dumbbell and a barbell. Go real crazy. Oh, oops. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Forgetting the shortcuts for everything. Okay, let's make it this long. Okay, that's a... Is that a bit short? Not really, no it's not. Hold on, that's my cell phone, sorry. Okay, so those are the lengths. Those are obviously not the finished drawing. We need to figure out how thick the texture should be. So if it was just a square, it would be this doubled over. So let's do that. And I want to do the knurling in the middle, because that's the bit that you grab. Just let me check my cell phone. Why is it? Okay, and then we'll do the oops. Do the thread. Obviously, a thread is actually a spiral, but you can just pretend. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Ah, that's not what I want to do. Okay, so I've got the knurling, I've got the threading. This dumbbell here. It's got a darker color. It's a darker color. That one maybe. Just for the parts of the threading that's in shade. Same with the knurling. Okay. But this is twice as thick as well, because it's actually, you know what? We need this. I was about to cut this in half and delete it because I was about to say, oh, because we can just mirror it. But the knurling, the checkerboarding would be messed up. Actually, no, we can flip it horizontally, so we don't need it. Okay. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, you'll see shortly. Okay, so we'll use that. We'll use that as reference. Okay, saved. Reload this. I'm kind of using a bit of a hybrid process right now, aren't I? So yeah, let's just make let's just make it a cube, eh? And we will oops, move that over there and just rotate it. There you go. Okay. I'm going to have a seam at the bottom, so let's just mark that seam there. Is that selected? I can never tell. Okay, and let's unwrap that. It's all over the place. So we want that to be there, that to be there, that to be there. Okay, so that's half the bar there, and we just need to do the other half. So let's just select this one, and rotate it and move it down. There you go. Yeah, because we rotated it, it's flipped the texture. And these two bits, we can just give them a flat color because it's not really, it's too small to have any pixel detail on it at all. We need to turn off that snap to pixels if we want to move it like on a sub-pixel basis. Just put it in there. Okay, so now we've got a dumbbell, and we've got the plates. So let's add a couple of these plates to this. I'll just move this over here. Make a copy. over here. Copy this too. Oops. And make the light come from above. Move that over here. And because it's all pixel perfect, when I place things as well, holding control of course, you know, everything is also placed in the right spot. Okay, and we'll add the smaller plate too, just to make it look a bit more. Those links are getting in the way. Okay, we'll spin it like that, and we'll spin it like that. Just make a copy. Oops, it's not right on the vertical. There you go, and you've got a crappy dumbbell. Obviously, to make it more realistic, you'd want to add shadows inside and do whatever. But that's, you know, it's a rough kind of roughly showing. Oh, actually no, let's do that as well, eh? Let's make the shadow. Okay, so you know what? I've done it, haven't I? To put this in shadow, I mirrored it so I could use it, but if I want to put a shadow on it, I'm going to have to draw the whole thing and then add some shadow here. So let's put some shadows right there, right there, there. There you go. This is all shadow. And I'll make it darker in there too. Okay, so that is some shadow, and I'll do some. I never bothered doing the barbell. Oh well. And I'll make darker versions of these too. Oops. Oops. Okay, so I'll just put these over here, and darken them. Sorry, just a weird quirk of Sprite. I need to have a color darker than this one, but not black. Is there one? Have I got one darker than that? I do. Let's use that. Okay, and I'll create a palette from the sprite. Okay, and then I'll sort it by luminance and do that. There you go. If you have no idea what I did, you might have to look up some Sprite tutorials if Sprite's what you're using, but you could use any pixel art program really. Okay, so this is a darker version. Actually, you know what? I might darken it again. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is the reverse, the shadow side of the plates. Okay, save that. Alt R to reload it in there. I'm gonna have to flip that like that. Move that down here. That's better. Okay, so we've got a shadow now. I didn't actually move the shadow. I didn't draw the shadow far enough. Okay, that's better. Okay, so we've got a shadow there, and this side of the plate needs to be. Okay, so here's another thing. If I have the snap to pixels on, and I move this, then you see that the pixels, they snap to pixel, which they shouldn't. These ones these ones on the corners there, they're not actually to be pixel perfect. They actually need to be not snap to a pixel because it's a circle. So what do? Well, we need to move this exactly down here, but we can't use the snap to pixel thing. So again, we use this where we actually change the numbers in here. So you just drag this across, drag it down, and it will always move it by exactly 1. So I can just go to the Y here and click down, and then click down. I'll click up actually, and then over here. So that's that one done, and we just need to do this one over here. So just select that. Oops, go that way, that way. Is that in the middle? That is. Okay, so that is it. It's a dumbbell, and it's actually got a proper, it's got proper shadows and, well, not not proper shadows. Not the greatest quality work, but oh well. Let's just make it slightly nicer. Yeah, so that's a dumbbell. And that is my process. Hopefully you're able to follow it, and it wasn't too kind of weird, hard to follow. And hopefully you're able to understand my weird ass accent. But yeah, my process. Thanks for watching. Bye.